Good afternoon. Welcome to Erev Shabbat Eretz Israel. I'm Avram Shira. We're talking Zohar, Parshat Shavua, Chukat, the famous parsha about the Parah Adumah, the special sacrifice that would bring purity from death to all those who receive those waters. The idea of purity from death, of course, is the way we were created in the beginning. There was no death introduced into the human being in the Garden of Eden. Adam and Eve introduced that concept through their actions, and so it shifted, it changed the level, the spiritual density of creation was manifestly different, meaning that there was no longer this perpetuality, in perpetuity. Oh, I love that word, don't you? Can't use words anymore because it's all locked up in the double speak in the PC. But really, in perpetuity means that it didn't end and it had a beginning with Hashem, and the only end is when Hashem decides there's an end. And this is one of the main tenets, by the way, of people who deny God, is they say, no, there's no beginning and end. It just is. It just is. It's kind of like such an easy answer, right? It just is. And don't argue with me, or you'll be put in cyber jail. But really, the laws of the Torah, the laws of the Chukat Torah, are part of what the Zohar teaches us here, the dinim, the judgments. But when it's written Zot Torah, this is the Torah, with a vav, vazot Torah, that little vav, that one letter in the beginning of the word, and this is the Torah, the Zohar tells us is all of everything together as one unified male, female, above and below, human and godly. Everything is bound together in oneness in the Torah. Zot Chukat Torah, when it says these are the laws of the Torah, now the Torah is coming to give us special decrees to restore things to the original oneness. These are not punishments. These are not, the teacher standing over you with a stick. This is not God being the tough guy. This is God helping us restore ourselves to who we really are. And who we will be, God willing, when we leave these mortal coils, as Mr. Shakespeare used to call it. So, understand, one letter in the Zohar becomes the difference between the world in pieces and the world in unity. Now, Rabbi Yossi opens up his drasha in the beginning of the parsha. Zot HaTorah asher sam Moshe lefnei bnei Yisrael. This is the Torah that Moses put before the Jews. Now we're come down another level. It's from God gives the prophecy to Moses, and then Moses puts the words before the people. Tachazeh, come and see. Milim deoraita kadishin inun ila inun metikin inun kamad dichtiv anechmadim mizahav mipazrav metukim medavash. Right now it's this level where Moses gives over the Torah. It becomes something else in the mouths of human beings. See, Rabbi Yossi is telling us when we say the words of Torah, they become sweet. They become precious as gold, as pearls, as sweet as honey. Why? They're words. We're reading words. You go to any Beit Midrash in the world, they're reading words of Torah. Why is he praising the experience as being some kind of transformational, transcendent reality? What happens when you read? Ever ask yourself that? When you read, what are you doing is taking somebody else's mind and putting it in your mind. You're pushing your mind a little aside and you're bringing in new ideas from somebody else. So when you read somebody's book, you're taking a lot of their mind and putting it in your mind. And when you read one sentence, you're getting a little thread of the original software. But when you're reading words of Torah, you're not getting the mind of Moses. You're getting the mind of God, channeled through Moses. And so by saying the words of God as they were spoken by God to and through Moses, you're receiving the original source material. You're receiving the light that is invested in those words from the beginning when the Creator decided to speak to us. So what does that do? Why is it so sweet? Why is it so precious? Because I know myself, when I wake up in the morning and I'm kind of a little disoriented, a little tired, a little cloudy, the weather report isn't too good, and I open the Torah, I start to read, all of a sudden my mind clicks. All of a sudden a light goes off and I feel centered. I feel at home. I feel grounded. I feel connected between something bigger than myself down here in this little brain that makes things sweet. So when you're grounded and you're connected and you're centered to yourself, what's happening, because it's through the Torah, you're part of the beginning. And you're connecting all the way back to the beginning and bringing it forward into the now. And that sweetness cannot be put in a bottle or in a wrapper or in a pill. People have tried. They're still trying. It's put in your mouth for you to say. Eitz Chaim Chi. It's a living tree. When you taste from the living tree, you become part of the living tree. Now you say, well, Avram, I pick up the book and I read and it doesn't happen to me. That might be because my order of events is a little off. Maybe I didn't start my day that way. Maybe I need to go wash my hands. Maybe I need to go to the mikveh. Maybe I need to say I'm sorry to somebody. Maybe I need to say tikkun klali. Maybe I need to cry out to God for forgiveness. Maybe I need to just breathe deep and accept reality as it's coming to me and through me. And if you get through those original beginning stages of the process, by the time you open the book and you read Vayidaber Adonai el Moshe Lemor, it's not just the same phrase you see 500 times in the Torah. It's new. It's being said right now at a certain place, at a certain time, above time. And that makes it sweet and precious and something that you want to live again and again and again. Now, you'll say, well, I haven't had that experience, and I bless you to have the experience. And I bless you to do a few preparatory works, a few actions, a few deeds before you open the book to make yourself into that vessel to receive it that way. And when you have one word of that sweetness, I promise you, you will remember it the rest of your life. And that one word will produce another word and another word and another moment and another experience. And suddenly you'll say, it's right. It's one. Now I understand why we say Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Why we declare the oneness, because it is one, and our declaring it brings it from the hiddenness into the revealed. And we become the conduit of that revelation as a nation, as a people. And when you're part of that, everything else takes on different proportion, different perspective. Our jobs, our lives, our politics, all the isms and all the philosophies that we've learned for a long time, they start to get their proper perspective and value in relation to what we have been given by the Creator of the universe. And all He asks is that we sing it back to Him and try to live the best we can by those laws. Each person at their place, at their time. And no two people, Rabbi Nachman says, occupy the same place. If you go up the ladder, you make a space for somebody else to come up the ladder. And God forbid a person who goes down the ladder, he can drag others with him. But never are two people in the same place. So all we got to do is keep picking ourselves up, and it's going to happen. And it's going to be an international redemption this time. So I want to bless all of you with a holy Shabbat, with the oneness of Shabbat, with the oneness of a day united to above time. And that your day should be above time. And by the end of Shabbat, you will mourn the passing of Shabbat. You won't want it to end. And you'll have connected the day with the Torah. Because Shabbat is the ultimate gift of the Torah, of all the gifts that are there. So we'll look for you next week on all the platforms. God bless you all. Shabbat Shalom.